Hey friend, today we are going to crochet the red roses top. This top uses the primrose stitch, which is a gorgeous stitch that is fun to make and it works up fast. This is a very easy beginner friendly top. We will make this sweater vest as 2 panels and then crochet a ribbing for the armholes to create sleeves. So I have made this a cropped length. The written pattern has been linked in the description box below and it is made for bust sizes 28 inches to 70 inches and it includes sizes XS to 7XL. In this video, I'll be demonstrating the medium size. I will show you how you can adjust it for your size, but this blouse is best followed along with the written pattern. Hello and welcome to Let's All Crochet. I'm Aki, the designer behind all the patterns that you see on this channel. You can subscribe to the Let's All Crochet newsletter. The link is in the description box below for goodies and special deals. And you will also get the White Winter Set ebook free. If you are an aspiring designer, I have resources linked for you as well. So this is the yarn that I have used to crochet this sweater, Naco Vega, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But we can use any weight 4 or any medium weight yarn to crochet this sweater. We don't need to use exactly the same yarn. I'm going to leave the names of suggested yarns in the description box below. This is a 100% premium acrylic yarn. The color is 10978. It's a bright red color. 100 grams has 195 meters of yarn. I will also leave the approximate yarn needed for all sizes in the description box below. The other material that we will need is a 5mm or an 8 size crochet hook, scissors, measuring tape, a tapestry needle and some stitch markers. Now let's begin. So before we start, I just want to show you a rough schematic of how we are going to crochet this top. So we are going to make it in 2 panels, the front panel and the back panel. These two are exactly the same except for the depth of the neck, which is deeper on the front panel. We are going to begin by chaining for the bottom ribbing here. So you will chain and then we will continue working in rows till we reach the width. And then we are going to start making the primrose stitch. So we will start by making the first row like this on the side of the ribbing. Continue till we reach the neck. Once we reach the neck, we are going to work the shoulders separately, one shoulder and then the next shoulder. And in the same way, we will also work the back panel, except we are going to work a few extra rows before we reach the neck. So once we finish both these, we are going to join them together at the shoulders and then we will leave a gap for the armhole and join the sides as well. So this side and this side. Once we finish, we are going to add a ribbing for the armhole, one on this side and the next one on this side. We will also add a ribbing for the neck and the top is complete. So let's talk about sizes. Today I'm going to crochet a size medium and I will show you how you can adjust it for your size. Make a swatch according to the instructions given before you start. We're going to begin with a slip knot and we can make this however we want. And now we are going to chain the height of the ribbing. So I am going to chain 11. If you want a larger ribbing, you can chain more, and if you want a smaller ribbing, you can chain less. So yarn over and then pull through. This is my first chain. Yarn over and then pull through. Second chain. Yarn over and pull through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Let's go to row 1. We're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. The loop on the hook is not a chain. This is our first chain, the first V that we see. And in the second chain, we're going to insert our hook into the top loop, yarn over and then pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and then pull through both. So we have made our first single crochet. Let's make the next one. Insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over and pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through both. Into the next chain, single crochet. We're going to continue making single crochets till we reach the very last chain. So if we want, we can count our single crochets now. So this is my very first single crochet, this V that I see, 2, 3, and so on. I have 10 in all. After every row, you want to count and make sure that you have 10 single crochets in all. Now let's go to row 2. Row 2, we're going to chain 1, yarn over and then pull through. And now we are going to turn our work. The loop on the hook is not a chain. This is my chain 1 that I just made. We're not working into this. And this here is the first single crochet, this V, and we're going to work into this. So there is a loop that faces us and a loop that faces away from us. This is the back loop, the loop that faces away from us, and we're going to work the entire ribbing in only the back loop. So let's begin. We're going to make a single crochet in the back loop of this first stitch. The loop on the hook is not a stitch. This is the chain 1, and in the back loop of this very first stitch, insert your hook, yarn over and then pull through, yarn over and then pull through both. So this is our first back loop single crochet. In the next single crochet, in the back loop, insert your hook again and make your single crochet. In the next single crochet, in the back loop, insert your hook and make your single crochet. So in the same way, in every stitch, we're going to work into the back loop till we reach the end of this row. So I will meet you at the very last stitch. So I've reached the last stitch. So we can't see it clearly like this. If we turn our work, we can see the very last V, which is here. On the side here is the chain 1 that I skipped. So in this very last V, in the back loop, I'll insert my hook and make my single crochet. Now I can count all my single crochets, and I have 10 in all. Let's go to row 3. So I'm going to make a chain 1, yarn over and pull through, and then turn my work. From now on, all the rows are a repeat of row 2. So we're just going to make back loop single crochets in all the stitches. So this is my first single crochet. Insert your hook into the back loop, make a single crochet, into the next one, single crochet, into the back loop of the next one, single crochet, and we're going to continue till the very last stitch. I want to show you the last stitch again. Make sure you don't miss it. Just turn your work so you can see the last V clearly. Insert your hook into the back loop and make a single crochet. Always count your single crochets to make sure you have 10. Now you're going to continue repeating row 2 till you have your entire ribbing. So how wide should your ribbing be? It should be at least half your bust. So suppose you have a 40-inch bust, you're just going to divide by 2 and it can be 20 inches. So it is completely up to you. If you want a wider sweater, you will make a wider ribbing. The sweater is going to spread out. It will become a little more wider than the ribbing once it is complete. So keep that in mind. You also want to end your ribbing at an odd number row. So your very last row should be an odd row, and I will meet you once you finish your ribbing. The written pattern will tell you exactly at which row you should end your ribbing. On the screen, you can see my completed ribbing. Today in this video, I'm showing you a small sample, and later when we go to the neck and the shoulders, I will show you my top. So now let's continue with the rows of the front panel. So I just want to show you, we're now going to work our first row at the side of the ribbing rows like this. The first row is a single crochet row, and we want to have a multiple of 3 plus 2 at the end of this row. So we may need to increase a few stitches, and that's perfectly fine as long as at the end of this first single crochet row we have a multiple of 3 plus 2. So I started with a slip knot here and I ended my last row also at the same side. So this is because I ended with an odd number row. So you should also end at the same side as your slip knot. And now we are going to make the very first single crochet row. This row is going to be a multiple of 3 plus 2. Now we are going to begin with a chain 1, yarn over and then pull through. And we are going to work at the side of this single crochet row. So just insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. So we have worked at the side of the first row. Now this is my second row. I'm going to insert my hook into the second row, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. This is my third row. I'm just inserting my hook, single crochet. If you want, you can mark this very first single crochet with a stitch marker so that you know that this is the first single crochet of this row. This is my fourth row, single crochet. So we are going to make sure that at the end of this row we have a multiple of 3 plus 2. We may need to increase stitches. So if we want to increase, what we will do is just work 2 stitches in the same row, 1 and 2. So we're going to continue till we finish this full row. So at the end of the row, I have counted all my stitches and I have a multiple of 3 plus 2. So what you can do is just quickly count 3 stitches, 3 stitches, 3 stitches and keep counting till you reach the end, and you should have 2 stitches left at the end. So groups of 3, just the last 2 should be 2 stitches. So if you don't have 2 stitches left, all you will do is increase a few stitches. So work the increase anywhere you want in the ribbing. Just make 2 stitches like I showed you, and at the end you should have a multiple of 3 plus 2. Let's go to row 2. Row 2, chain 1 and then turn your work. Yarn over and pull through and turn. We're going to make a half double crochet in the first stitch. The loop on the hook is not a stitch. This is the chain 1. Don't work into this. And this is the very first stitch. In this, we're going to make a half double crochet. So yarn over first. Insert your hook below both the loops of the V. From now on, we are going to work below both the loops of the V. Then yarn over and then pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and then pull through all 3. So this is a half double crochet. After this, we're going to skip the next stitch, and in this next stitch, we're going to make a single crochet, chain 2 and then single crochet all in this same single crochet. Let me show you how to do this. So we have worked in this stitch. We're going to skip this stitch. In this next stitch, insert your hook below both the loops of the V, single crochet. Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to go back to this same single crochet, insert our hook and make a single crochet. So we have made a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet all in the same stitch. Let's begin the repeat pattern of this row now. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and in the next stitch we're going to make a single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet. So we have worked in this stitch. We're going to skip 1, skip 2, and in this next stitch insert a hook, single crochet, chain 2, 1 and 2 and single crochet in the same stitch. This is what we're going to do till we reach the end of the row. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and in the next stitch we will make a single crochet, a chain 2 and then a single crochet in the same stitch. Continue till you reach the second last stitch. So I will meet you at the second last stitch. So I've reached the end of the row. If you see, in my third last stitch, I've made a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. I have 2 stitches left. So this is my second last stitch. I'm going to skip it, and the stitch marker shows my very last stitch. I told you to mark the first stitch. That's the very last stitch of this row. We're going to make a half double crochet in it. So skip the second last stitch. In the very last stitch, yarn over. You can turn over the work if you can't see the V clearly. We're going to insert a hook below both the loops of the V, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3. So this is a half double crochet, and this is the end of row 2. Row 3, we're going to chain 3, yarn over, pull through 1, 2 and 3, and now we will turn our work. So this first chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Now we are going to jump to this chain 2 space between the 2 single crochets from the previous row. So you can see these 2 V's have been worked into this stitch, and this is the space that we are looking for to work our 3 double crochets in. So make sure you work into the space between the 2 single crochets, the chain 2 space. So yarn over, insert your hook into the chain 2 space between the 2 single crochets, yarn over, pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the last 2. We have made 1 double crochet. We are going to make 2 more. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same space, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. And into the same space 1 more. Yarn over, insert your hook. So we have made 3 double crochets. Now we are going to begin the repeat pattern for this row. All we have to do is make 3 double crochets in every chain 2 space. So to make sure, just confirm this is the single crochet worked into this space, this is the second single crochet worked into this space, and between them we have the chain 2. Work 3 double crochets in this space. Yarn over, insert your hook, 1, yarn over, insert your hook 2, yarn over, insert your hook 3. So in the same way, now we will jump to the next chain 2 space and we will make 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. So generally the chain 2 spaces are slightly raised, so you can spot them easily and open them up with your fingers. Continue till the very last chain 2 space and I will meet you there. So I've made 3 double crochet in the last chain 2 space and now we are going to search for the very first half double crochet of this row. So this is my first half double crochet of this row and this is where I'm going to make a double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook below both the loops of the V. At the side here you can see the chain 1 that we had made. So you're not going to work into this stitch that you see here. You're going to work into this first half double crochet and make a double crochet. Let's go to row 4 now. Row 4 is like row 2. Chain 1 and then turn your work. Make a half double crochet in this very first double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook into the very first double crochet and make your half double crochet. Now we are going to skip this next double crochet and in this next double crochet we are going to make a single crochet, chain 2 and then single crochet. So skip this one and in this next one we are going to make a single crochet, chain 2 and then single crochet in the same stitch. Now we have reached the repeat pattern of this row. We are going to skip the next 2 stitches and in the next stitch we will make a single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet in the same stitch. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches. In the next stitch we will make a single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet in the same stitch. What you will notice is you're always working into the center double crochet of these 3 double crochet group. So into the center double crochet we are going to make a single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet. Continue till the end of this row and I will meet you. So I've reached the very last group. I've made a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the center double crochet of these 3 double crochet. We're going to skip this last double crochet that we see here and this is the chain 3 that we first made. We're going to find the third chain. So at the bottom here is my first chain, here is my second chain and at the top this one is my third chain and we're going to make a half double crochet in it. Yarn over, insert your hook into the third chain and make your half double crochet. Row 5. Row 5 is exactly the same as row 3. It's a double crochet row. We're going to chain 3, then we're going to turn our work. So now we are going to jump to this very first chain 2 space between the 2 single crochets and we're going to make a 3 double crochet set there. So just insert your hook into the space, make 3 double crochet and jump to the next space, make 3 double crochet again. Continue till the end of the row and I will meet you there. We're making 3 double crochet in all the chain 2 spaces. I have made 3 double crochet in the last chain 2 space. I'm going to skip the next stitch and in the very first stitch, which is a half double crochet, I'm going to make a double crochet. And this is the end of row 5. So you can see the pattern now. So for the rest of the front panel till we reach the neck here, so this entire bit, we're just going to repeat row 4 and then row 5 for pattern. So next you will make row 4 and then row 5, row 4 and then row 5. You will continue till you reach the neck here. So I've reached the neck now and I just want to show you how my panel looks. So it measures about 14.5 inches in height. Remember, you can make this as tall as you want. We are going to add shoulders now, so that will add another 3.5 inches to this sweater height. So you can decide how long you want your sweater to be. And once you're ready, now we will start making the neck. You're going to bring 2 stitch markers for the neck. So now we have finished making the rows from the ribbing up till the neck. And now we are going to add 2 stitch markers, one on this side and one on this side for the neck. So once we add the stitch markers, then we will work the first shoulder and then the second shoulder. They are both exactly the same. So how will we mark the stitch markers? If you're using the written pattern, you will see the stitch markers are added at different stitch counts for different sizes according to the neck. So consult the written pattern and add your stitch markers for the neck. If you're not using the written pattern, I'm just going to tell you how to estimate the neck size and add your stitch markers so that you can continue with the shoulders. We want to leave 7 to 8 inches for the neck. You can decide how wide you want your neck to be and you will add a stitch marker. So I'm going to add the stitch markers about 7 inches apart. And also remember that you need to have the same number of stitches on this side and on this side. So let me show you on the panel now. So I have marked the neck and we will mark the stitch markers between two groups of 3 double crochet. So I've done the same on this side as well. Between two groups of 3 double crochet, I have added a stitch marker. And you want to count your groups of 3 double crochet from this side. You want to have the same number on this side and the same number on this side. So the shoulders have to be exactly the same. Just count the groups of 3 double crochet and you are good to go. Add the stitch markers and now let's proceed. So this is where my last row ended. I'm going to continue from here. We will start making the next row and we will stop at the stitch marker here. And then we will work the next row in this direction. So the first row of the shoulder, then the second row of the shoulder in this direction, the third row of the shoulder in this direction, and they will all end at this stitch marker because we want to leave the neck open. Then we will work the other shoulder later. So first let's work our very first shoulder. We're going to chain 1 and then turn our work. And now we're going to make a half double crochet in this first double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook into the first double crochet, make a half double crochet. Then we are going to skip this next double crochet. In the next double crochet, we will make a single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet, all in the same stitch. Then we're going to start the repeat for this row. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches and in the next stitch, we will make a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the same stitch. So this is just like row 4. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches in the next stitch, which is the center double crochet of the 3 double crochet. We're going to make a single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet. You're going to continue in the same way till you reach this last group of 3 double crochet here and I'm going to meet you there. So I've made a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the center of this last group of 3 double crochet. And I've reached my stitch marker. So what we're going to do is skip this last double crochet and in the next stitch after the stitch marker, we're going to make a half double crochet. Yarn over and insert your hook in this next stitch. So this is the first double crochet of the next 3 double crochet. We're going to insert our hook into the first double crochet and make a half double crochet. If you have the written pattern, your last stitch is going to lie in the stitch with the stitch marker. Now let's go to row 2. We're going to chain 3 and then turn our work. 1, 2 and 3 and now turn your work. This is like row 5. We're going to make 3 double crochet in all the chain 2 spaces. So 3 double crochet in the first space, 3 double crochet in the next space, and you're going to continue making 3 double crochet in all the chain 2 spaces till the end of this row and I'm going to meet you there. So I've reached the end of this row and I'm going to make a double crochet in the last half double crochet. So I've made 3 double crochet in this chain 2 space, skip the next stitch and in the very last stitch, which is this half double crochet, we're going to make a double crochet. And this is the end of row 2. So we have made 2 rows right now and we're going to repeat row 1 and row 2 3 more times. I will meet you once we repeat these 2 rows 3 more times. So I'm making the first repeat of row 1 and I want to make the last half double crochet in the third chain of this first chain 3. I just wanted to show you this and now you will continue finishing your repeats. So I'm back now and I've finished working the first shoulder. So this was my very first repeat. You can see the double crochets 1, 2, 3. 3 more repeats and the last row is a double crochet row. So now we have finished here and we can now leave a long tail that's going to be at least 3 times the size of our shoulders. So you can just measure your shoulder and make your tail 3 times this size, and then you can cut this yarn off. Once you cut it off, you can pull out a loop by tugging on this loop. Now let's go to this next shoulder. For this, we are going to need a new piece of yarn. So we are going to bring a new piece of yarn. I'm going to turn this to the wrong side before we start. We're going to attach the yarn here and we're going to work in this direction. So the written pattern tells you exactly which stitch the stitch marker is in, and you will attach the yarn in that stitch. Otherwise, you're going to attach the yarn in the first stitch of this 3 double crochet gang just after the stitch marker towards the neck. So I'm just going to insert my hook like this, catch the yarn in a loop form and then pull it through. Let me just show you again how I will join the yarn. I'm going to insert the hook like this, catch the yarn in a loop form on this hook and then pull it through. And now we're going to begin row 1 of the shoulder. We're going to chain 1 and make a half double crochet in the same stitch. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3. Now we're going to skip this next stitch, and in this next stitch we will make a single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet in the same stitch. Now we begin the repeat pattern. We're going to skip 2 stitches. In the next stitch we will make a single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet in the same stitch. Continue in the same way till the end of the row and I will meet you there. So I've reached the end of this row, worked in the center double crochet of the last 3 double crochet, and I have the chain 3 now. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the third chain of the chain 3 and make a half double crochet to end this row. Row 2, we are going to chain 3 and then turn our work. We are going to jump straight to this chain 2 space and make 3 double crochet in it. So for this row, we are just going to make 3 double crochet in every chain 2 space, and I will meet you at the end of this row. So I've reached the end of the row, made 3 double crochet in the last chain 2 space, skip this single crochet, and in this last half double crochet we are going to make a double crochet. Insert your hook, make a double crochet, and this is the end of row 2. So from now on we are just going to repeat row 1 and row 2 for pattern 3 more times. Row 1 is like row 4 and row 2 is like row 5. So we will repeat row 1 and 2 3 more times just like the other shoulder, and I will meet you once we finish. So I've finished making the second shoulder just like the first. This is my first repeat, this is the second, this is the third, and this is the fourth repeat. And now I have cut a long tail exactly like the first shoulder, and we can pull out a loop by tugging on this loop. So now we are ready to close this shoulder as well. Now let's go to the back panel. So you have made the front panel and now we are going to the back panel. The back panel is exactly the same as the front, but it has 2 extra rows. So let me explain how we will make the back panel. So just like the front, you're going to chain 11 or whatever you had chained for the ribbing of the front panel. Then we will work the same number of rows as the front panel. Then we are going to start working on the pattern, the main pattern, and continue till we reach the neck of the front. So it's going to be exactly the same till we reach this neck. And after this, we are going to add 2 more repeats. Row 4 and then row 5, row 4 and then row 5. So we are going to add just these 4 rows, that is 2 repeats. Once we finish this, I will meet you. So I've finished making my back panel up to the neck now, and you can see that the neck is a little bit higher for the back panel, and I have only 2 repeats that I have to work now. So what we are going to do is mark the stitch markers exactly like we did for the front panel. So you're going to count the same number of double crochet on this side and this side, add your stitch markers. Then you're going to start working the shoulders exactly the same, except we had 4 repeats in the front panel, and for the back we're just going to have 2 repeats. Each repeat has 2 rows. We know row 4 and row 5. For the front we had 1, 2, 3 and 4 repeats, and for the back we're just going to have 1 and 2 repeats. So I will meet you once we finish both the shoulders. So make the shoulders of the back panel. So I've finished making both my front and my back panels now. So you can see that these are the shoulders. The front panel has a lower neck than the back panel, And for the back panel, I made just 2 repeats on this side and 2 repeats on this side. The front panel has 4 repeats on this side and 4 repeats on this side. So 4 repeats of row 4 and 5. There are actually 8 rows in all. So once you finish, you can now start closing the shoulders. So let's close the shoulders together. But before that, let's add a stitch marker for the armholes first. And then we will close the shoulders, both the front and the back panel together, and we will do this on the wrong side. So I'll explain all of it. So this is the right side of the front panel and this is the right side of the back panel. We're going to sew on the wrong side. I'm going to use the whip stitch. If you decide to use any other stitch, you can adjust the panels as you want. I'm going to turn this front panel to the wrong side first so that the wrong side faces up. The back panel also, if we turn it around, the wrong side is facing up. So both sides we want the wrong side facing up. So let me show you. This is the front panel. You can see the back of the double crochets, and this is the back panel, and you can see the back of the double crochets again. So both sides we can see the back, this side and this side, and the fronts are sandwiched in between. So we are not going to close on the fronts. We are going to sew on both the wrong sides. So let's add a stitch marker for the armhole now. If you're using the written pattern, I'll tell you exactly how much to leave for your size. So from the shoulder, we're going to leave the length required and then add a stitch marker on this side and on this side. Now, if you're not using the written pattern, you're going to take your favorite sweater and decide the armhole width that you want, and you're going to add a stitch marker. So I'm making my armhole 8 inches for a size medium. So let me just show you. So from the top of the shoulder, I have measured 8 inches and then added a stitch marker. And we're going to do exactly the same on this other side as well. So at 8 inches, I have added my stitch marker. So if you want, you can also count the rows on both sides so that it is exactly placed. The stitch marker on this side and the stitch marker on this side. Now let's go ahead. So we had left a long tail end on the front panels. So one tail end is here and the second tail end is here for me. For this side, I'm going to start closing from this end till I reach this end. And for this other side, I'll start closing from this end till I reach this end. Let's start closing this side first. So this is my first shoulder and I'm going to take the tapestry needle, insert it into the last stitch on this first side and into the third chain on this other side. And I'm going to tug on the needle. Now I'm going to go into the second stitch on this side and into the second stitch on this side. I'm going to tug on the needle. And you're going to move this loop to the top like this. Now I'm going to go into the third stitch on this side and the third stitch on this side. I'm going below both the loops. Tug on the needle. Then I'm going to go into the next stitch on this side and the next stitch on this side. Tug on the needle. We're going to continue in the same way till we reach here. So once we reach here, we're going to weave in the tail end. Now we're going to go to the second side, and in the same way as the first, I'm going to start closing at this end and reach this end. So with the tapestry needle, I'm going to go into the first stitch on this side and into the chain, the third chain on this side. Tug on the needle. Go into the second stitch on this side and the second double crochet on this side. Tug on the needle. And we're going to continue in the same way till we reach the end. At the end, we are going to weave in the tail end. So I'll meet you once we finish. So now we have finished closing both the shoulders. We're going to close the sides next. So I'm going to take a long piece of yarn, at least double the height of this side. And then I'm going to start closing from the bottom here till I reach the stitch marker here, leaving the armhole open. Once I finish this side, I'm going to do this other side in the same way. We can start closing from the bottom till we reach the stitch marker here, leaving the armhole open. So I'm just turning this sideways now. So I can start closing from the ribbing till I reach the armhole here. So I'm going to insert the needle into the last stitch or the last chain on this side and into the last single crochet on this other side and tug on the needle. So once I reach the end, I'm just going to tie a small knot. Now I'm going to continue. I'm going to insert it below the next stitch on this side, the next chain, and the next stitch on this side. Tug on the needle. Below the next stitch on this side and the next stitch on this side. In the same way, we are going to continue, and here we won't be able to see stitches. So we want to make sure that we match the front and the back. Then we will continue till we reach the stitch marker here. So I'll meet you once we finish closing this side. So I've reached the stitch marker now, and at this point I'm just going to weave in this tail end. The armhole is left open. Let's go to the other side. This side is exactly the same as the first side. I'm just going to insert my needle on this side in the first stitch and on this side in the first stitch. Tug on the needle, tie a knot, next stitch on this side and the next stitch on this side. Tug on the needle and continue in the same way till we reach the stitch marker here. And remember that you want to match the double crochet rows. I will meet you once you finish closing the side till the stitch marker. So once you reach the stitch marker, you're going to weave in the tail end. So this is the right side of my sweater now. I have turned it inside out after seaming. So this is the wrong side. You can see all the wrong sides of the double crochets. And this is the right side. This is my neck. At the bottom I have the ribbing. We finished closing both the shoulders and we have finished closing both the sides. So now we are going to make a ribbing for the neck. So we are going to attach the yarn at the seam here. And we will start making a single crochet round. Then we will make the ribbing rounds. So we will attach the yarn here. I'm just going to turn my work like this and attach the yarn here. So I'm going to attach the yarn at the seam here. Just insert your hook, catch the yarn in loop form and pull it through. I'm going to make a chain 1 and then I'm going to make single crochets. So I'm going to make 2 single crochets in this same double crochet at the side of it. 1 and 2. Then I'm going to make 1 single crochet at the side of this half double crochet or single crochet chain 2 row. I'm going to make 2 single crochet at the side of this double crochet. Now I have reached the back neck. I'm going to start making single crochet from the first double crochet and continue making single crochet till the very last stitch of the back neck. So you can see that this is the back neck. I'm starting here and I'll continue till I reach here and I'll meet you here. So I've reached the end of this row and now I'm going to start working into the side. So I'm going to make 2 single crochets at the side of the double crochet row. 1 single crochet at the side of the single crochet row and 2 single crochets at the side of the double crochet row. We're just going to continue till we reach the front neck. Once we reach the front neck, we will see our double crochet stitches and we will make 1 single crochet in all till we reach the next corner, and then we will start working in the side like this. What I'm doing is making 2 single crochets at the side of the double crochet row and 1 single crochet at the side of the single crochet chain 2 row. So I'll meet you once we finish this round. So I've reached the end of the round and I'm just going to join by a slip stitch to this very first single crochet. So I'm just going to insert my hook below both the loops of this first V, yarn over and pull through, and then pull through the loop on my hook. Now let's go to the ribbing round. We are going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Single crochet in the second chain from the hook. The loop on the hook is not a chain. This is the first chain. In the second chain, make a single crochet. Single crochet in the next 4 chains. So at the end of this row, we're going to have 5 single crochet. This is my last single crochet. And we can count 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And now we are going to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. So we have worked in this stitch. We are going to slip stitch in this stitch. Let me show you how to slip stitch. Insert your hook below both the loops, yarn over, pull through the stitch and then pull through the loop on your hook. Let's do this in the next stitch as well. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through the stitch and pull through the loop on your hook. So this is row 1. Now let's go to row 2 of the ribbing. We're going to turn our work. So I'm just going to turn it like this. And now this is the loop on our hook, not a stitch. The first 2 V's are the slip stitches from the previous row. So we're going to skip the first 2 V's that we see, and in the next V, this one, in the back loop, we're going to start making our single crochet. 1, in the next V, 2, in the next V, 3, in the next V, 4, and in the next V. So we always want to count 5 single crochet. Now we are going to just repeat row 1 and 2 for pattern. We are going to chain 1 and we are going to turn our work. So I just want to show you how I'm going to turn my work for this project. I'm not going to turn the project, I'll just turn my hook. You can do this however you want. Basically, we're just going to work backwards now. So let me show you. So I'm just going to take this hook and just flip it around like this. And now if you can see, we are ready to work in this direction. We're going to single crochet in the first stitch and single crochet in all the stitches. So we're going to have 5 in all. So once we make the 5 single crochet, we're going to slip stitch in the next 2 stitches. We have worked in this stitch. In this next stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook. Turn your work around. The loop on the hook is not a stitch. Skip the first 2 slip stitches. In this next stitch in the back loop, we are going to start making our single crochet. So we are going to make 5 single crochet. So in the same way, we are going to repeat row 1 and 2 all around. And I will meet you once we finish this round. If you feel like this ribbing is crunching up and it's too much or there are too many rows, you can just skip a few single crochets along the corner stitches or even along the sides. Wherever you want, you can skip a single crochet and then continue making 2 slip stitches in the next 2 single crochets. So finish crocheting the entire round. Now it doesn't matter, you may end at this side or you may end at this side. So I've finished at this end. We're just going to add a stitch marker. We're going to slip stitch these 2 ends together, but we're going to do it on the wrong side. So I'm just going to turn this. So I'm ready to close both these sides now with my tapestry needle. I'm going to go into the last stitch here, tug on the needle. You get the idea? Just keep going into the stitches on both the sides. So once you reach the top here, you can go one extra time. And now you will just weave this tail end in. I've already made the ribbing for one sleeve. I want to make the ribbing of the second sleeve with you. So they're exactly the same. Once we finish this, you're going to make your second armhole ribbing. So to make the ribbing for the armhole, I'm going to attach the yarn at the seam here and then we're going to make the ribbing in a round. So I'm going to show you exactly how we will do this. So first, we're going to begin by attaching the yarn at the end of the seam here. I'm just going to turn my top sideways like this, and on the right side at the end of the seam here, I'm going to attach my yarn. This is my seam. I'm just going to insert the hook at the side of this last row here, catch the yarn in a loop form and then pull it through. Now I'm going to chain 1 and then single crochet in this space. So insert your hook, single crochet. Now this is a double crochet row, so I'm going to make one more single crochet in the same space. Insert your hook and make another single crochet. Now the next one is the half double crochet or the single crochet chain 2 single crochet row. At the side of this one, I'm going to make only one single crochet. Next we have a double crochet row, so we are going to make 2 single crochets, 1 and then 2. Next we have a half double crochet or a single crochet chain 2 single crochet row. I'm going to make one single crochet. So we're just going to continue in the same way till we reach the end of the round. So I will meet you once we finish this round. So I've reached the end of the round and I'm just going to join by a slip stitch to the first single crochet of the round. So at the side here is the chain 1. This is the first single crochet. I'm just going to insert my hook below both the loops of the V, yarn over and pull through, and then pull through the loop on the hook. And this is the end of round 1 of the armhole. So now we are going to chain 7. Yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So this is like the neck. So we already know how to do this. We are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, single crochet in each chain across. So the only difference is we chain 6 for the neck and we are chaining 7 for the armhole ribbing. So we're going to have 6 single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 at the end of all the rows. So once we finish, we're going to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. So we have worked here in this one, insert your hook, slip stitch. In the next, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. Now we'll go to row 2 of the ribbing. So turn your work, skip this first stitch, this second one, these are slip stitches, and in this next one we're going to insert a hook into the back loop only and make a single crochet. Single crochet in the back loop in all the single crochets of the previous row. We're going to have 6 in all. So this is the end of row 2. Row 3, chain 1 and then turn your work. So I'm just going to turn it like this. Single crochet in the first single crochet and single crochet in all the single crochets till the end of this row. So we are going to have 6 single crochets in all the rows. Once we reach the end, we are going to slip stitch in this next stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, and then pull through the loop on your hook. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, and then pull through the loop on your hook. We are going to turn our work. Start making single crochet after skipping the first 2 stitches. So skip this, single crochet from this stitch. And we're going to have 6 in all. So in the same way, we're just going to continue repeating till we finish the entire round. And I will meet you once we finish the whole ribbing round. It's exactly like the neck except we have 6 single crochet. So I've finished crocheting the entire round. Now it doesn't matter, you may end at this side or you may end at this side. So I've finished at this end. We're just going to add a stitch marker and then turn this inside out because we're going to slip stitch these 2 ends together, but we're going to do it on the wrong side. So I'm just going to turn this inside out and meet you again. So if you are at this end, you will slip stitch like this, and if you are at this end, you're just going to slip stitch like this. So first we're going to chain 1, then I'm going to insert my hook into the first chain on this side and the very first stitch on this side, yarn over, pull through both and pull through the loop on your hook. Then the second chain, insert your hook into the second stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, the chain and the loop on your hook. So we're going to continue in the same way till we have 6 slip stitches. So now I'm just going to leave a small tail and then cut the yarn. And now we will just weave this tail end in. So now that we are on the wrong side, we're just going to weave in all the extra tail ends and then we're going to turn this inside out again so that the right side faces up. So in the same way as the first armhole, we're going to make the border for the second armhole as well. Make the same number of single crochets in round 1 and then you're going to make sure you have the same number of ribbing rows as the first armhole because they need to look even. So once you finish, in the same way you're going to slip stitch across both the ends and then weave the tail in on the wrong side. Our top is now ready to wear. I hope you have enjoyed crocheting it with me today. So if you want to add sleeves to this top, you can also let me know. Subscribe to my newsletter. The link is in the description box below for updates and goodies. Thank you and see you next time.